Can anybody hear? Nothing? Can you hear? Hello, hello? Nothing. Oh, we've got something going over there, Malia. Now it's coming through, it looks like.
Oh, it's because you're probably hearing my headphones.
Oh, we've got something going over there. Let's see here. Well, we're having all sorts of audio issues, loud and clear, so you guys can hear us loud and clear, but I got to work these out. Something is giving me some audio here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I think I found the problem. I got it. Wow. Okay, that was a little bit of a runaround here. Sorry about that. I don't know why the audio for the countdown wasn't working, but that's usually why I do that. So in case there's a problem, I can handle that. So, oh boy, what a day. Hold on. I just need a stiff, strong drink of tea here. 1 second. How's everybody doing? Loud and clear. Good. Thank you so much. What's up, D? Silver Surf Studio. Good to see you here. We're going to try to jump into this fairly quickly. It's good to see the room filling up. I apologize for the audio issues. And, you know, the world is going mad. We all know that, right? And so as I've been going through everything and things that, you know, Malia and I, we sit every single day, usually in the morning and then a whole bunch at night. But we're always looking at things that are taking place, and we're balancing that against what we've always talked about here. And I just got to tell you, Malia's badass. She's got such a great understanding of certain things. So I hope that she'll jump in later when I bring up the more laws creating more transgressors, because that's something that she said a number of times. And I just felt that we probably need to have that conversation at some point today, because it's really important to understand what's going on. And I'm going to try to show you some things from different angles today. Before I say hello to Judy Cox, Sarah C., Queen of Swords, Scotty's back, Brian Carpenter, Joanne W., Regeneration Codex. It's popping up. Divine Renegade, good to see you. All the mods, thank you very, very much here. Joanne W., At Peace, Scott Severini. Hopefully, some of you will join the show. It is a call-in show. So later on in the show, I'm going to post the link here in chat. And I'm also going to post the link on our Discord channel. And probably a couple other places that you'll be able to come on. You just need to make sure that you have headset on. See this? This is so the audio through the speakers doesn't come back through the microphone and give us echo. So please just have headphones on, please. It makes it so much easier, because then I have to boot you off, and I hate doing that. I want to be able to have the conversation. I've talked to John from Best Damn Podcast, because he had done a show last night after I had posted the link for today's show, and I was listening to his show, and he's covered. John, he does some great coverage. If you have not, gone over to John's channel, the Best Damn Podcast, John digs into some things, and you might judge him, but I'm telling you right now, he's got a first of all, he's got a good heart. He's got a good spirit. He's not always perfect, just like none of us are perfect. But he is really, really smart and sees things in a, I would say, a very profound way. So I'm going to love having John on here. And let me just text you and make sure he comes on. Get your butt on here, John. On the show now, just in case, because, I did change the time. I just wanted you guys to see that. I did change the time. And Malia, she was under, hello, everybody. Sorry, it was under Derek's desk checking connections. Yeah, we were trying to figure out. She was crawling under here and hoping it wasn't Stella that pooped on stuff. I don't know what, we did tell that story, right, Malia? All right. So, we're Stella kind of had a blowout during one of our shows, and it was quite smelly, but I kept going. But Malia was down here cleaning it. So, so I'm going to be bringing John on. But what I wanted to get to, and let me just share the screen here. So new businesses, and this is insider paper on Twitter. Businesses told to prepare for January shutdowns as Omicron spike looms. So expect that. Just an update. Just expect that crap to come down. And they may even try to bring that up before Christmas, but this is going to take place. Now, I don't necessarily think it'll have everything to do with Omicron, but they'll use it as a happenstance. It's just a wonderful circumstance that they happen to have, which is this Log4J vulnerability that I originally announced that the subject was going to be about, but we've added another subject matter.
Your Log4J again.
But let me just tell you a little bit so you understand this Log4J, the Log4J vulnerability and what it is and why it's important. This is a very easy vulnerability to exploit. Really easy, really fast, which makes it dangerous. And it allows you to run executables. So I could create a program that its intent is to do all sorts of malicious things within a PC. And I can exploit the Log4J vulnerability. And what the Log4J is it's a Java-based Apache, so open source log format. It's a library or a diary of the entire PC or the server. And so it creates a library. So if somebody clicks on something, somebody clicked on something. And that allows developers to go back when there are flaws or something going on. And it allows the developers to see what actually happened, what happened before XYZ happened. And so it's the log. But this vulnerability was, I would say, clearly built in, because I've known about the ability to create such a vulnerability for quite some time, but and in something so simple. So this is an open source logging system that everybody uses and every system uses. So I'll give you a perfect example. So our chat right now this is YouTube's actually using a little bit different setup, and they've already changed these things. But in chat right now, in some chats on some sites that use Java based, you could literally put a string in through the Log4J and it'll log it and give you access that you could launch executable code within that from the back end. It is so easy to exploit and so quick that it's pretty terrifying. Now, of course, there are updates, and that's why I wanted to play this video here where this guy's already telling you, and I can tell you right now, this isn't going to go away. It's only going to get bigger. So let's listen to this guy.
They found a bypass. You've now got remote code execution on version 2.15 as well. So guess what? You need to update your Log4J again. They found a bypass. You've now got remote code execution on version 2.15 as well.
So you've got remote code execution at another area. So another vulnerability based on this. So just understand that somebody that had real power to access many machines like bot farms, you could fundamentally destroy something with the amount of damage that you could do in such a short period of time. There would be no recovering from it. Not just that, but ransomware, all sorts of other things, taking things hostage. Now, this vulnerability, I do believe, has been known. And like I said, if I knew that it could be created, then somebody else did too. And so what are they using it for? Well, I could go in and, try to educate you as to what this vulnerability means, but they're warning you, right? And anytime the mainstream media is going to be publicizing things like this, you have to be a little bit suspicious. So what is the Log4 vulnerability? I just explained that to you. Now, look what's happening here, underway in the dark web in recently released reports. So the dark web, people are on there already. And what happens is there are access brokers. So let me explain to you, and sorry for the little light here. The sun is coming through and reflecting off something, so you'll see it mess up on the screen here. I apologize for that. So there are access brokers. And what an access broker is, if I wanted to create a business in the dark web, I would create access for myself quietly. Psst, secretly. I'd cover up all my tracks going in, but I would create a door where you could get in. I don't want to do anything, but I'll sell access to it. And that's what an access broker is. So access brokers are building these vulnerabilities, getting in, and then giving you the ability to launch an executable code that would destroy or do whatever you wanted it to do. So it's pretty serious. And it's quite crazy.
So I've known this.
But hold on. So this is a serious problem. And I want to bring John from Best Damn Podcast on. He's here, and I want to bring him on because I want to talk about with John directly because of the things that he was talking about. They can use this for your 3 days of darkness. So the excuse would be if they shut down the internet, because that may be if it gets worse. It may be better for them or easier as far as something to sell you on, that they had to shut it all down so they couldn't take it hostage until they could fix it. That would be one way that they could shut everything down. And believe me, when I tell you that this Log4j vulnerability, it's everywhere. Okay, it is incredibly prominent in all servers and all industries, everything. However, it seems the only people that aren't worried about their systems being impacted by it is the, groups like the NSA, CIA, FBI, guys like those. So apparently they knew about it, or at least I would say they knew, but they would say, of course, that's our job to know. But yet, if they did know, then they didn't inform everybody else until it became a known vulnerability and publicized so people could actually attack. So again, false flags. False flags always create and come with real damage. So let's bring John on because I want to get his take. I didn't get to listen to his whole video, but I'm going to bring John on here and let's talk about, John, what you think this means. Can you hear? We didn't check we still don't have your mic on. You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Hear you perfectly.
Awesome, bro. How you doing?
Good.
Really excited.
Everybody, John, Best Damn Podcast. I'll show you his YouTube channel, The Best Damn Podcast, John Keene. John and I have talked for a lot of years. And John, last night when you were doing the video, you were showing some of the things about Log4j and talking about some of what you thought that they would use it for. Mm-hmm. And, as I originally had, I said, this could be lights out. They could utilize this to shut down the internet, or they could do this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't show this. Hold on. It was this right here. Oh yeah. Let me show this. Bring this back up. Okay. So this was a post on Twitter from the FBI. FBI statement: if you feel your systems have been compromised as a result of Log4j vulnerability or are seeking remediation, we encourage you to employ all recommended mitigations and follow guidance from CISA. If you think your organization has been compromised as a result of the Log4j vulnerability, visit fbi.gov/Log4j to report to the FBI. Please include as much information as possible to assist the FBI and CISA in determining prioritization for victim outreach. Due to the potential scale of this incident, the FBI and CISA may be unable to respond to each victim individually, but all information we receive will be useful in countering the threat. As always, we stand ready to assist any impacted entities. And so I posted, I remember Klaus Schwab telling us last year that this was planned for the Great Reset. Remember, they don't mind sacrificing you to their God, to the God of this world. They don't mind. They don't mind you starving to death because they destroyed the system. They don't have a problem with that stuff. So, John, what do you think of that?
Matter of fact, I seen the post on your Twitter is where I first seen it, but I seen some other things that were going on that kind of, I like from Stephen Banoon on Israeli Live had talked about, from his own intel, and, that's hearsay until you start to see things that are, kind of happening to give credibility to it. But he was speaking about, we would see a kind of an internet down, maybe grid down scenario around Christmas time. So I have my eyes open, just watching. Then you posted the Log4j thing. I went and I looked at it, and that exact statement is what made my ears perk up because of some other things that I've found out as well. given, YouTube and kind of what we would call psychological warfare operations to kind of round up the dissenters, people with dissenting opinions, people that the government would kind of deem threats, including the letter from 2016 from the federal ICE agent that killed himself on Pier 40 in New York City, where he outlined the whole thing, talking about the coming economic collapse and how they kill the grid. They blame it on a cyber attack from, one of our enemies so they could go into war. And that when they did, they would release an emergency alert system to get everybody to stay in their homes, while federal agents, which would already be in place, would then, with lights out, go in and attack the media personalities, YouTubers, anybody with any influence that would go against the narrative, and kind of reset the internet, reset everything in preparation for really big things. Because the banks and all of those things that are associated with, electronic transfer and all of that would stop being able to give you money. So that would create chaos, right? People would begin to loot and all of that. But I seen that the DHS also issued an emergency directive ordering all federal civilian agencies to address Log4J flaw. So after seeing your post and doing some research, and I'll just give you the statement here. It says a directive issued by the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency comes in response to the active exploitation by multiple threat actors. And when you look at, what they're talking about when it comes to this particular bug, it affects everybody but down here. It affects everybody but the federal government, the Department of Defense, FBI, CIA, and this is like a backdoor, as you know. I mean, Derek, you know a lot about tech, a lot about all of these things. This is essentially making it to where anybody that can even get on a website, it doesn't have to do with just your IP address. I mean, they can get in a multitude of ways and then DOS attack you, a denial of service. So this to me looks like they're setting it up right now, and they're calling for civilians too as well. Where's it at here? This is calling for the internet-facing networks. This is Apache Log4J vulnerability, and to patch the systems. They're issuing updates for this, and which I would never ever go get that. Just putting that out there. And it's against multiple threat actors. And they're talking about that this poses an unacceptable risk to the federal network security. Now, if you look at some of the statements from prominent military figures talking about a coup d'etat within our government and the steps that they lay out that has to be taken in order for that to be effective, I think that this would also be used not only for, internet down, grid down, perhaps even leading you into war, collapse. All types of things will stem off of this because of the interconnectedness of our society. But this is also a prime tool for an overthrow of the government, right? Like a takeover through intelligence in cahoots with military. That way, when the other countries around us, and Derek, I mean, this is all just a big play, really. It's all a story.
Yeah.
The other countries around us would then effectively be able to lay waste to us if they wanted to, because all of the fail safes that are in place to defend ourselves as a country would then be circumvented and usurped by intelligence agencies and all of the people within the military that are in the hierarchy that are part of what we would call deep state or shadow government. And now they're even asking people. And
you
they're
bring
saying,
up a good point really quick, John. That's a good
Sure.
point, because see, one false flag leads to another false flag. So we have this false flag, which essentially gives them the justification for shutting down the internet, or the false flag where somebody actually does use it and exploits it. And we have this Klaus Schwab massive cyber attack for the Great Reset that's part of it, and said it's going to happen, and everything they've said is going to happen, so it happens. So now all of a sudden everything's out and we're cut out for 5, 6, 7 days, maybe a week, right? And now you have stores, gas stations, you can't get gas. The looting isn't people that are looters. See, this is what people don't realize. They're going, oh, well, I'm never going to go out there and loot. Trust me, It's not that going to be people that are looting right now. It's people that are starving to death or so desperate that they have no choice but to come and steal it from you. And they'll apologize to you when they are. I got to take it, man.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying? So that whole complete destruction that'll happen, this country will be plummeted into chaos, of course. It'll be blamed on everybody else. Can you imagine the tribal setup that comes? Because that's when you become tribal, shit gets ugly. And,
yeah, well, that's playing on your primal urges of tribalism.
Yes. And so now we're into such disarray. And just like, I don't know, who is it that was that guy that everybody seems to think is, so great? Oh, yeah, Trump, where Trump is the one that gave China the ability through the United Nations with blue helmets to come in should we have such an event.
Yeah.
So it won't be a war invasion of us. We've already invited them. We've already laid it all out for them.
And
right?
speaking
Because
of blue helmets,
these folks, you have to understand who we're dealing with, folks. These people that are in control of things, they love Mao Zedong, right? He's a hero of theirs. Hero out of their own lips. Right. They love that. They love Saul Alinsky. They love Mao. They love Mao. 50 million people killed. No, I mean, at a minimum by Mao.
Yeah.
They love him because what he was doing was killing off who he thought was the middle class and those people. I mean, he's creating a workers to everybody was going to live in bliss. And look what you have. So
yeah,
these are all pieces of the world, but these are the things that people are controlling. But keep in mind, there is a bigger thing. There's a bigger psychological thing which we're going to get to, which is the CIA, John. We're going to get to this. It's going to blow you. The CIA, this guy from the CIA, verifiable, basically disclosed as a matter of fact, that the CIA has known since World War II that humans are alien hybrids. You're going to hear it in his own words. He's going to say it. You guys are going to trip out. So it's crazy. But you see where this is leading. We have the cosmological stuff. I'm going to cover a couple pieces of these things because there was a couple TikToks. This is what I love actually about the little bite size, and that's why YouTube's going to it. Yeah. You can sort through a ton of different subject matter in a very, very short period of time. And if for the wrong person, it's rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. But if you know what you're looking for, it's assemblage, right? You get to put the map together and go, this is where this is all going. Look at this. Knowledge will greatly increase. And here we are. So John, when you're talking about, and you were also talking about, I saw you talked about Anonymous being part of a psychological psyop. No question about it. My involvement from Anonymous, and I'll tell you right now, it was like when I saw an Anonymous official YouTube channel go up there. And like any true Anon knows that there is no official Anon channel or something, because that puts a head where the question mark is with the body and the question mark where the head is. It puts a head there. That is an Anonymous something like that. So
I did a video on LARPers, right? And we went into Project Mayhem files. And even within the project, it says that there are, and they call them fags is what they call them. They said there's old fags and new fags, and there's good ones and there's bad ones. And, when you have a decentralized network like that, not everyone's on the same agenda. These are government agents that are using Anonymous to implement something, nefarious, right, against the masses. It doesn't mean that not Anonymous is nefarious or that everybody that's ever done it is bad. I've posted Anonymous videos, right? I have no malice in my heart for anyone. But they're using it because of the effectiveness of Anonymous, to change our culture, Wall Street, all of that stuff, man. It was ran by, I think a lot of good people have come through that vein and really affected and fought back against the social engineering and the hive mind that we find ourselves in now, where society is just completely debilitated from making, choices and critical thinking and any of that. They were trying to fight against that. I think you're muted,
lost
brother.
my mic again here. Lost my mic again here and almost choked on my on myself. So John, so of course, you posting anonymous videos and feeling part of that. Obviously, many of the anonymous videos, you could almost tell because the true anons, they would wake you the hell up.
Yeah.
And you would see real people. For instance, there was 2 anons that worked for a biolab where they were working on the manipulation of DNA. And this was back in 2016, 2017. And it was a husband and wife team, scientists that work in the UK biolab. And I'm telling you, they put together some stuff. It was never up very long. It was up for a day, but that's why, there's every single real anon video is also mirrored on the dark web in multiple different places. So all of those things stick around, but unbelievable stuff. And that's why on my channel, you go to the channel, the main video I have is the government's virus for your mind. That was, just a little over 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And everything that I was talking about was based on all of these things and what we're seeing and what scripture says, and just putting it all together was like, they have no option. This is where they're going to go. There is going to be this virus for your mind, and it is going to be for your mind, literally your crown. I mean, geez, you don't get more accurate than that.
No,
it's truly insanity. So, and that's as a result of good people, good anons. And obviously you shared good work too. I'm sure, you saw those things and sent them, but that doesn't mean that it didn't change a culture, because they usurped it too. I remember when they had Occupy Wall Street, that initiated as a true anon protest and was instantaneously usurped by democratic organizations that usurped it. Literally, they took over the whole thing. And anons were saying to anons, hey, that's not us. That's not what we're here for. But it didn't matter. So it's, you can't really tell. You always just have to follow your heart and your intuition. That's what discernment's all about. When you know what you're looking at.
Well,
and
don't they do that every time, Derek? Every grassroots anything, they usurp it, they corrupt it.
Always. Yeah, anything good is corrupted every single time, and it always will be. So let's look at something else here, John. Let me pull up this screen here. I'm going to, let's see. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. And by the way, this is John's YouTube channel right here. Best Damn Podcast. Best Damn Podcast. Just look for, he's got a Best Damn Podcast too as well, but look for the one that's 12.5 thousand subscribers. He's cranking up. I think when I met you, John, I don't know, what'd you have on YouTube? How many subs?
I wasn't even on YouTube yet. I jumped on and then I got deleted after about 1,200. Then I maybe had a couple hundred for a long time. And then it was you who actually gave me an anon video that helped me to, really. And it was not just that. We've done probably 10 or 15 videos at least together over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I am very, very fond of you, bro.
I sent you my anon video, and I said, all you have to do is post this video. And I said, because that video itself, the way that people shared it and the way that people reacted to it,
it's powerful.
Right? It was powerful it was designed that way for the YouTube algorithms. So if you watched in the analytics of it, it's really, really balanced, and the engagement is continuous throughout the whole thing. So it was to get you to watch the whole thing. So I created that specifically with the information in those patterns that YouTube was showing me. And so when that got launched, no matter where it was posted, that was posted on literally hundreds of different YouTube channels at one point in time. And every single time it was posted, they got 700,000 views, 900,000 views. That video probably has, I would say right now, that video probably has hundreds of millions of views across, that it had. And that was the very first one that I have on this channel, by the way, folks.
Three calamities.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorites of all time. It got me 350,000.
Yeah. See, that's just crazy. So I was like, John, just post this video, man. It'll all work out.
Yeah.
So I want to show you something here. And this is a TikTok channel.
This for a long time. And I never thought I'd ever
this
be able
guy,
to talk about it.
hold on, let me pause him very quickly. This guy right here it's really crazy. He doesn't come off as some spiritual guy, but everything he has is all spiritual, right? It's all spiritually minded, but he tells it to you like if anybody should be accused of being a CIA agent, it would be this guy. But he's not. I mean, and he's totally blown away by this CIA agent that he's talking about. But so I've tracked this guy and followed up on him to see who he was. But listen to what he says here, and he's going to show a piece of a clip, and I'm going to just play his whole TikTok through the whole thing. But then I'm going to show you the actual interview he's talking about.
Done this for a long time, but I never thought I'd ever be able to talk about it. Let's just get to the meat, shall we? This is John Ramirez, who is a former intelligence officer for the Central Intelligence Agency. Here's John showing his career intelligence medal with his name on it and the accompanying certificate signed by then CIA Director Leon Panetta. John Ramirez is the real deal. That said, John, through a legal loophole that releases him from a non-disclosure agreement on a few things, just admitted some stuff that I never thought would become public. He admitted that Google, the same Google that you and I know and use, were given their search technology and the Google Earth functionality by the Central Intelligence Agency in return for Google being the tech company that's going to translate, disseminate, and manage data transfers between extraterrestrials and humans. And here he is in his own words.
There were 3 items on the agenda. One was a historical look back at CIA's relationship with UFOs in general. That's where slide 53 was the McMinnville UFO, the famous one in 1950. And that was briefed as, this is an authentic UFO. Then the reason why it's never been successfully debunked is because it is authentic and we know it. Number 2 was hybrids. And number 3 was the future of information technology will explode. We're working with a company to disseminate.
That company that he's talking about is Google, and he's going to say that. But remember, this meeting that he's talking about was quite a long time ago.
And allow a dialogue of information like this and other information.
John, is
And
this
that
the
company is
you
Google.
referenced?
Google.
Now, this company was going to gather the information and create a dialogue between us and these aliens. This is the CIA. Okay. So you think, okay, that's crazy, right? But
Because we had a relationship with Google already. We provided them with Earth Viewer, which became Google Earth, and we provided them with search tools, which became Google Search.
Furthermore, he talked about the underground facilities in St. Louis, talked about his visits to Area 51, and admitted that the CIA knows for a fact that the human race is a mix of primate and alien DNA, and that certain bloodlines got more augmentation than others, and that those bloodlines get surveilled their entire lives by the world's intelligence communities. Wow. I mean, maybe disclosure really is on the calendar. I don't know. This is a high-ranking CIA officer who knows Lou Elizondo and Chris Mellon. The amount of info he gives up on the human hybrid program, and I say that knowing a lot of shit. If you want to watch the whole interview, go to YouTube, Unidentified Celebrity Review, and look up John Ramirez. Now, why? At the end of this particular video, would I remind you to start meditating and developing the powers of your mind? Because that's exactly what I'm telling you to do. Why would I mention that here? Might there be some kind of connection here? You have seen the recent videos I've done where science has proved conclusively that your consciousness reaches out beyond your body, right? That's beyond Six Sigma science, surpassing the minimum requirement that science considers something conclusive evidence. You should probably learn to speak the language of tomorrow. Stay tuned. Love you guys. Peace. So I've known this for
so crazy, right?
Awesome.
Well, here's the interview. So the crazy thing is, this is called the Unidentified Celebrity Review. Never heard of this channel, but this is where this guy ends up showing up, and he's totally authentic. He goes through. You can go through and watch this whole interview. I'm going to put this right now in the. No, I'm not going to put it in the chat because then y'all are going to go there and listen and leave the show. I'm going to put it in the description box after the show. How about that? So this guy literally, and guys, I'm trying, I know that the world is going crazy and I'm laughing here, but this is how you have to stay. You got to keep your own mind. And that's what he's talking about, because they are going to mess with people's minds. Remember, men's hearts fail them for fear. For fear. Again, just like I said, the things we're talking about. All I know is that ancient scripture, 40,000 years old, cuneiform, says exactly this. It's what I've talked about on this channel since day one. When I talked about the serpent in the garden, what it was, all of this stuff, all of it. The CIA is now telling you, this officer for the first time is saying, yeah, it's true. He's not even mentioning Enki and Enlil. He's just saying that we're hybrids of an alien species and that some got more augmentation than others. Probably some that have white skin and blue eyes. Capiche? Right? So that's a little bit more augmentation. But he's also saying, and this guy says, and we're going to play a little bit of this. And again, folks, this is a fairly, it's not a huge channel. He's got, what is that? I can't even really see. 6.9 thousand subscribers. this video has 37,429 views, and it was only uploaded on December 3rd. It was a show from December 3rd of this year. So as I play this, and I'm going to have to pause because I don't want to, you know, piss off these guys. I want you to go watch the video at the place. And if you go there, please tell them that Global Witness sent you. Tell them. So go to unidentified celebrity review, look up John Ramirez. And again, I'll have this link in the description box after the show. But listen to what he says here. Now, I think it's also funny is that this guy right up here, he's got, you know, 4 panel guests. Let me see this guy right here. They're all a bunch of geeks, right? I mean, in a good way. I'm just not saying that they're not negative comment. I'm just saying they're geeky like me. And, but this guy up here, he's hearing what John Ramirez is saying. And at one point during this, it's incredible that he, even though John Ramirez doesn't say anything remotely like what this guy's insinuating, but he's drawing a conclusion that this alien species hybrid that are more augmented and more powerful and have some things going on are the Jews. So, and he gets offended. And that's not even what this guy says, but it just shows you where things are at. So let's listen to a little bit of this. And again, I'll try to pause through this so I don't, you know, violate their copyright. And I'm actually utilizing this for fair use.
Creators of Android, the operating system.
So he's talking, disclosing Google.
Real quick, I just want to go back one more time to the hybrids and so when they spoke to you about this, this was something that they were saying. Did they say why they believe this or what they discovered that points to this idea of human reptilian hybrids?
I had to research that on my own. They didn't make that connection.
Did you research it in, you know, classified documents or just kind of like online?
No,
like,
online. Just putting it together.
But they said specifically that. But they didn't provide any evidence. But they said this
after World War II. Yes, that they discovered that humans are hybrids after World War II. So in my mind, they said, okay, do we know of how we could have gotten alien DNA after World War II? And then I go, Roswell crash, bodies. Were there actually bodies recovered? Did we go back into the bodies and find evidence of?
See, now I want to say, again, I'm going to pause. He's saying that he's trying to link it, right? Because this is the thing, and he's really good. This entire interview is really good, guys. He speaks of details about the different kind of levels. Just because some individual within the CIA has top secret clearance doesn't mean that they're all involved in all of the top secret stuff and that they have access to all of it. It is always on a need to know basis, right? So you can have top security clearance and so can your buddy, but yet he doesn't talk to you a thing about what he's working on because you're not supposed to know. So he has to draw his own conclusions, and they even ask him. This is why he's a great interview, because he's incredibly honest and clearly a very well-versed CIA agent, right? Definitely a good guy. And exactly, it's amazing. Every person in the FBI, CIA I've ever met are all just like this. All of them look just like that. Like they're just homebodies. They have just a very modest living. You would never know. The guy gets into, a 20-year-old car, drives to work. They're not opulent. You don't know that these people are doing the level of things that they're doing. But just so you know, so he's trying to draw the conclusion right here in this of, wow, we must have got it from Roswell because there was an alien crash. But the CIA doesn't say that. It goes back far more ancient. And so we're going to cover this, but let's listen a little more.
Humanization, their DNA and ours and theirs. I don't know, but other officers who claim, the other officer who claimed that he saw the Roswell files, Chase Brandon, said, yeah, they were like non-human intelligences recovered from the Roswell crash. He said he saw it, and then he had to write a novel to describe how it goes all the way back to the Atlantean period.
Well, yeah, I'd say that, if they did find alien bodies that had, weird DNA that is alien and ours, wouldn't the kind of obvious answer be that those alien bodies are hybrids and that, like,
exactly.
Well, but you're saying that we're hybrids, right?
We're hybrids. They're hybrids.
Some of
Who
us, right?
created
Is that
us?
wouldn't
All
it
of
be the
us
only?
all of us are hybrids. Some are more hybridized than others.
Okay.
And
But
they
it
said
could.
Some are more
One
hybridized than
point.
others.
they told us that we know there are certain families that have been hybridized to a great extent than others, and we will be following those families.
That's where I think a lot of people really take a concern with this theory, because
See this. Listen to what this guy's. I think a lot of people take concern with this theory. By the way, dude, in the cutoff sleeve shirt, this isn't a new theory. This isn't a theory you've heard from before. You're hearing this for the very first time. This guy is telling you. You should see that if when you watch the interview, just pay attention to that dude's face. It's all of these guys, and the funny thing is, the host of the show is the third or is the second from the bottom here, right here, and he's the calmest, coolest, collective character of them all. This guy right here begins to lose his mind. He's like, "This is why people are concerned."
that sounds a lot like David Ickey's reptilian theory.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
kind
thinking,
of anti-Semitic, right?
He's thinking
That's anti-Semitic, right? You're talking about it's anti-Semitic that there's people that have more augmentation, and we'll be following them. Well, who knew? Remember those that say that they are, but they do lie? Yeah, those are them. Crazy, man.
thinking like I've not read any of his books. I tried not to read because I want to be unfiltered. But if he's going with like this hybridization being part of a plot to control the world and they're evil, and I don't buy that. I just buy the fact that that
they're controlling families, powerful families.
No. That some have. I'm just telling you, this is what I was told. And so that's a research point for others to research or to debunk or to not believe. I mean, it's up to you.
From a purely semantic standpoint, I mean, we do have DNA variances across humanity. So even if it wasn't, I mean, not to parse it too much, but even if it wasn't a direct influence from an extraterrestrial peoples of some kind, we obviously know that different people have different DNA markers. So it would be very analogous to identifying things. So when we talk about a group of families, it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific ethnicity. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific religious group.
Right.
I mean, it could be across, just something that we treat as genetic anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is a genetic anomaly that, we can't trace back, that was just introduced at World War II, I would be shocked if academics would overlook that or not be able to find that.
So that's what I'm curious, because John, you had said ancient families, but then we also have the World War II. So was it we found out during World War II and it had happened prior to that?
Yes.
We didn't realize it till World War II.
Somebody told us.
Somebody told us. Somebody told us after World War II that we have these alien blood mixtures. Well, I don't know. Wasn't that kind of what that guy that was over there gassing a bunch of people found out? Wasn't he down in Antarctica figuring this stuff out too?
Yep.
You can't and see, oh, well, this is a psychological operation. I got to tell you right now, I don't believe that this is a psychological operation. I believe that this is actually more truth because they don't really want you to know. This soft disclosure is soft disclosure because they know that it has to come out, because it does have to come out, because they know that there's stuff going on. And I want to play something else before we do this, so you understand what I'm talking about when I talk about that scripture and what it says, regardless of who wrote it, regardless of whether it's written by the Jesuits and the prophecies are from the Jesuits and they're executing them right now, or whatever your theories are, it's irrelevant, because the end result will be the same. Either manufactured or natural, the end result will be the same. So I wanted to play this. Let me see if I can find this.
Through the
yes. So this is very, very interesting. So let me go back to the beginning of this. This is a guy that shows this video here. 1 second. Let me shut off these so we get a little bit more space in the screen.
This is what it looks like when a gun is fired underwater.
cavitation bubbles form
Now you're thinking, what does this have to do with anything? Keep watching.
and implode repeatedly near the weapon's nozzle, and a cone is formed in the bullet's wake. Within that cone is a vacuum. The bullet moves so fast that for a few hundredths of a second, it creates a tunnel.
A tunnel. Now, you see that tunnel? Let me just back up to that tunnel. You see that tunnel right there? That bullet creates this tunnel through the water in a vacuum. Okay, complete vacuum. So now listen to what he says here, because this is something, John, that I've always said. I have always said that the ancients, the way they spoke about following the stars and living by them and navigating by them, they never were without them. So they had light on the ground. It was still daytime out, but the sky was black, dark. You could see the stars all day because you're there. You could always see the stars. That's the ancient text talks about. They were always visible. It wasn't until after the flood or the impact where we had all of this moisture that goes up into the air creating clouds, because remember, only dew light on the earth. There was no rain yet. Rain came after the fact. Rain came as a result of all of the moisture being put up into the air and into the atmosphere. And now we have this blue sky, which can be penetrated, right? Because
it creates a tunnel.
So now listen to what he says here. This is going to tell you when you talk about aliens, here we are, because this is real. The sky will roll up like a scroll, right? Listen to how he compares this.
Pretty cool all on its own, but I bring it up only as a visual analog for this.
Given the size and speed of the asteroid that impacted approximately 66 million years ago off the Yucatan Peninsula, killing nearly all life on Earth, including the dinosaurs, something nearly identical to this phenomenon would have taken place within Earth's atmosphere.
Listen.
If you were a dinosaur and you happened to look up just a split second before the impact vaporized you, you would have seen a bright blue daytime sky, and in the middle of it, a gaping, pitch black hole twinkling with stars. Literally a tunnel from the Earth's surface through the atmosphere and out into space. Stay curious, my friends.
Yes. So talk about the veil being rent. This is it. When space can actually enter here. So completely penetrated ionosphere, including that tunnel, that vacuum through the water. So this is the crazy part. This is how you would break through it. And this is how we're going to experience all of the things as in the days of Noah, folks. So forget about all the psychological operations, because you've got to survive that, but you got to be prepared for what's coming after that, because that's the day of the Lord, right? That's the great and terrible day. It's great for many. They're like, thank God this thing coming to destroy us, right? And for others, it's like, oh my God, it's going to destroy us. That's the separation. That's the, Malia always calls, what's you will see the difference.
The distinction between those who love me and those who don't. It's not in the ones that love me and the ones who don't. It's the distinction, that great gulf between the two.
That's a great gulf. So crazy. This is just a really interesting take on this.
Sure, that you're saying that.
Now,
that
with
water
that said, this comes right after it. This guy is talking about something that he's like, hey, folks, it didn't rain. The water is coming up from underneath the ground. Remember the great storehouses in Scripture? Yeah, that stuff.
Well, this is kind of concerning. It did not rain, y'all. Mid-December, 70 degrees. That moisture that you're seeing, that water on the ground, that's coming from the earth. It's coming upward. That's not good.
That's not good. That's a bad thing.
I'm just like,
that's a bad thing. So here's what I've always talked about. And John, I don't know whether you saw the metaverse show. Oh yeah, I believe you were in chat that day. The show on the metaverse, right? So really quickly, let me play this, because he's talking about metaverse. Now, I'm linking these up. I'm showing you why we're linking these things, why the alien agenda, why the reptilian hybrid race, why what's going on in the world. They're preparing for this. And here's the thing. On Earth, the last thing they need is 7 billion people trying to get to their location because they got all the goods. They believe they can survive this. They know the cataclysm. When you've got DARPA issuing requests for proposals or contests and rewards for people that can make a robot that can dig through miles of ice and recover you, you know it's going to be a little bit different. You know they're preparing for this. They know this stuff is coming, and they need some of y'all. It's not like they're just going to take all their elites. Who's going to work? Who's going to earn the money for them? Who's going to churn the wheels? Who's going to do that? That's what the metaverse is all about. Put your ass in a tube underground somewhere. Hey, we'll allow some of you to survive, but you're going to be our bread and butter. And so as we're talking about these aliens, here we are talking about metaverse, and Keanu Reeves again being interviewed about the Matrix. And they're asking him, what about the metaverse? And his reaction, just listen to him and you'll understand exactly. We go back way, 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 way back.
Can we just not have metaverse be like invented by Facebook?
You're not a fan?
No, but just the concept of metaverse is like way older than
it is old. Snow Crash, yeah.
It's like a way older. And so for that moment to get to, I'm just like, come on, man. Can we just...
Come on, man. Can we just not do that? Now, with everybody... Now, here's the crazy part about this.
You need to see this crazy...
The crazy part about this is that people think the metaverse is going to look like what this guy is showing. But if you've seen the new engine that is available on Xbox, I'm trying to remember the 5th gen engine that they are building the 3D universe on. It is in fact, I think I saved it on here, and I'll get it after this. But here's a conversation. Remember, people thought I was crazy that people wouldn't be working in the metaverse and they wouldn't be employed. Here you go.
Easy conversation I had in virtual reality.
Yo, Peanut. So, what's your thought on the metaverse?
On the metaverse, I think it's gonna be cool, man. I mean, I don't feel like
this is in the metaverse though, folks. So this is in, they're using Oculus goggles and they're in the metaverse right now. It won't look like this. It's going to look deadly real, and I'm going to show you something of that.
Like that, the whole thing of like actually working and making a living while playing a fucking game in virtual reality. I don't agree with that shit.
Metaverse employee.
Which is like
whoa, you got a guy who literally his entire career's on Oculus, dog.
Come on, dude. Seriously?
Yeah, I work for Facebook. Me and Forest File are here.
Wait, so y'all make a living off of this?
He does. I'm not a community guy.
Fucking.
We are officially community guys over here.
So wait. Just curious to know, are y'all at work right now?
We are working from home.
Wow. And what's the hourly wage for that? Because I'm just saying.
It's not.
You see this crazy.
It's not going to be hard to get people into the omniverse, metaverse, whatever you want to call it. It's crazy. But let me go to. Hold on. Let me jump off this screen sharing here for 1 second. John, go to.
Yo, Peanut.
I got to go to mine.
So what's your thought on the?
Hold on. It was right here somewhere. Oh, and I want to show Malia. I want to show Deanna's video of the because that was quite funny. Where was this? Goodness gracious! I can't find it. Find it.
It reminds me of Ready Player One. And Facebook had a requirement that their employees had to read Ready Player One before they got employment. I don't know if it was for a department or the whole company. And that engine you were talking about, was it the Unreal Engine or the Infinity Engine that he was talking about for the Xbox thing?
It's the I believe it's the Unreal Engine, Gen 5. Hold on 1 second. Unreal demo. It is. I can't find it, but cool. It is insanity. Okay, so you've probably played first person shooters and done all of that, right? So you've seen how good games have gotten. They're amazing.
Yeah. My kids play Oculus that guy was working from.
Yeah. Well, but this is ridiculous. So it uses a global light engine, right? So for the sun, and that light engine itself reflects through. So when you walk by a car, the reflections, even off of the glass, everything is so authentic. You would never know that you're not really standing there, because even as the sun moves, you could tell time by this light engine, even in there. So you can see how quickly we are going to be able to build a very realistic, an incredibly realistic set. And we have some other folks coming to the house. I'm going to post the link again. I think I still have that link.
Do you believe that's why they're terraforming everything, Derek, with the nanoparticulates and stuff with the chemtrails?
Yeah, it could also be helping them build this, right? So if you could utilize and you could see these nanoparticles and people couldn't, then you could build a real life engine because everything's covered in, remember on that video, the government's virus for your mind, Julian Assange disclosing that they have this evil dust. It's not, he said, it's not just connected. It's not just all things of the internet. It's literally like evil dust. It transmits dust. So we're headed into a crazy time, folks. We have more than 1,000 people in the chat. So share this. If you're in the chat, X out of the chat, click the thumbs up, and then go back into chat, and you'll get there. And share this video as so people can be just informed and just start to prepare their minds, man. Because we are, if people aren't ready for this stuff, I mean, every single day, you know, how much have we talked about this and be prepared for this? And it's still like the days of sorrow. It's still like, oh man, I cannot believe this is happening. I just can't believe it. Let me, I'm going to bring on, I've got Damien on there. I'm going to bring Damien on as well, and Robin. So we got Robin from Robin's Hood and Damien as well. But Damien, try to get your video if you can. I don't know what's going on, so I'll pop you off here for the moment. But what do you think, Robin, of where all of this is going? And now that you've seen or heard the CIA officer talk about being hybrids, how does that reflect on some of the things that you've seen over the years?
First of all, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you great.
Hey, John, you do have the best damn podcast as advertised. I watched a couple of your videos.
Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome. But I didn't really have an opinion. I wasn't really thinking about it, Derek. I just wanted to hop on and tell you thank you for helping me defeat the Goliath spirit inside of me. Because as you know, I might have a few notes or whatever, but I don't have a script, so I don't really, it's hard to be prepared when you talk about these things. But in order to just hop on and speak my mind about whatever it is, I'd like to thank you for doing that, especially over the past year or so, by just listening to your advice on how to deal with your own spirit, me as my own worst enemy, and being able to cast that out and just hop on here and say hello.
Yeah, it's, you know, I love bringing other people on, right? I absolutely love bringing people on and hearing what they want to say, even if they want to chew me out or something. I just say, don't be distracting and, you know, or dogmatic. And if you do, I mean, hey, we'll listen to you. It's not like I haven't heard it before.
But I am looking forward to, the 3 days of darkness, whatever it is, so we can get past that point and then see what that truly is from that point on.
Yeah, there's no question that once that happens, and you know, I believe personally that it's going to jar many into a place of recognizing that, man, that everything that they thought was important is going to be destroyed. Right, all of the things that they thought was really, really important, and they're going to have to buckle down and get to the things that are absolutely important, the essentials, and they're going to have to do it in very, very quick order because I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to live anywhere near a major city if that goes down. I wouldn't want to. I mean, you can't have a secure enough room because people will get desperate. There's Damien. I see Damien's face here. So Damien, let me ask Damien. First of all, Damien, whether you have something to say on this, whatever, you know, this is a platform for you to speak your heart. So, but if you do have an opinion on all of the stuff that we talked about on this show, would love to hear
it. All right, an opinion on the hybrid, all of this stuff. At the moment, I don't have an opinion of on this subject, but what I do want to say is that these what we're learning and what we're seeing and what we're preparing our hearts for, it's really if I was to go back 3 years ago, and all of the things that people were spiking this, bringing this stuff to me, bringing it forward, and then all of a sudden you're living it and seeing it, and the spirit of prophecy is taking place. I'm just like preparing. I'm in preparation mode. I'm in preparation mode because I feel like we're gonna be able to learn and see these things take place. But I also feel like so many distractions, and I don't think we're going to truly fully understand. And I think the key to it is having this processing system that's ready for anything and everything, because I've been trying to, it blows my mind to go and think what this scroll, when it goes up, and what we're going to see and feel, and then what we're going to know, period, like straight up, instantly. And I go into that and I'm like, holy shit, I need to prepare my kingdom to be able to withstand anything and everything so that we can move, because I don't know for myself personally if I'm going to, when all of this does disclose itself in all of these different ways, I don't know personally if I'm going to be a survivor in this or other. So, and I won't know until the time comes.
You'll be standing where you're supposed to stand. See, that's what you'll be standing where you're supposed to stand. Look, where you're standing is on holy ground. Take off your shoes because you're standing on holy ground. It's because wherever you stand is holy ground. Like, you have to grasp that. You have to grasp that you're not a pawn for the puppeteers. You don't belong to them.
Yes. And that's where the courage and the strength.
Zero, nada, none.
Yeah, and that's where where the courage and the strength to endure this is going to come from, is by knowing this and having it complete in you, so that nothing phases you, and you have this perfect fearlessness when this shit goes down. Otherwise, and I say that because this is the process that I'm in at the moment. Like, I'm kind of doing a lot of meditation. I've seen things, and I've seen things now that are like, whoa, all right, okay. So I've got to, I know things that I know now, and I know that I have to stand in this place, otherwise I can be moved. And you did, when I was having a conversation with you, Derek, and you brought something to my attention, because I'm like, okay, I'm allowing the Father to bring things alive. I'm not pushing things if I'm not ready for it, this and that. And I walked away, and I'm like, oh wow, what you said is, because I'm thinking, this can't be taken from you. When you know this inside of yourself, it can't be taken. And you said, I'll treat it like it can. And I went away with that, and I meditated on it. And that's exactly how we've got to treat this. Like, it can be taken at all costs.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I see Catherine Willie has joined.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing? We love Catherine. Catherine's been a longtime follower of the channel. We met her when she came down for Witness in the Desert. Would love to hear what you have to say, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Well, I have a basic thought. No matter what happens in the future, I feel it's going to be a blessing, all of it. Our spirits are going to go where they belong.
Yes. You're absolutely correct. And we also have I only have, let me see who I've got Thomas Lynch as well. Thomas, what say you?
Thomas is having lunch.
Well, hold on.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's a late lunch for me, because I'm a night owl kind of fella, and I like to eat late sometimes, just drink water through the day. Hey, everybody. It's a pleasure to absolutely officially be here with everyone. I love listening in, and that's pretty much what I'll be doing. And with Brother Bros here, it's been an honor to watch you for 10 years. It feels like 10 years.
Not
and so Yeah, I'm moving. I'm cruising right along as fast as the fastest here, in every way. I research as much as I can. I got the time to do it, and like-hearted, like-minded stuff always happens, as you guys know. That's why we're here.
No question about it. You find,
It's an honor.
Yeah, you find people of like mind, which is of like heart. First, you hear it from the mind because they've expressed it through there, but it began in the heart. It always starts here, right? And that's how you'll know them, by their fruit. And that doesn't mean that we're always perfect and we're always loving. All of us go through this. But the reality is we will be the ones, because what you're hearing from us right now and kind of our attitudes, imagine when everybody's completely broken down. They can't even lift themselves off the floor because they think they're sick. They think they're dying, all of that stuff. And we'll be the ones that say, get up, pick up your mat, walk. Where am I going? I don't know. Follow me. And they'll
Come along.
You'll be the only person that they've seen. They will marvel at you. And now you're going to understand Christ. They marveled that he wasn't one of these people that had lost it.
Behold.
Yeah, they just couldn't get over that. So
Right.
The key says, are they planning on just injecting their consciousness into the matrix and exit this dimension in creation? Well, yes, to a degree they are. And they will do that because that's about AI, right? AI is about your consciousness. They want that. First of all, they already know what you think. They probably have, they already know what everybody thinks. The vast majority of people. I can tell you one thing, they definitely know what we think because we voiced it, right? So if AI right now is telling them and for their future scenarios, you better get rid of these folks. These are the ones that are going to kill you. These are the people, not because we're going to be violent, we're going to go destroy anybody, but because we'll be the only ones that still have our heads on. We'll be the only ones that still have a heart, that understand what's going on. It's really a remarkable, it's as somebody said earlier, and I didn't get to post that. I'm sorry, I didn't get to post the comment on the screen. Relentless Maverick is with us, but the comment was, what incredible days we are living in.
Man.
And what an opportunity, really. And that's, you've heard me say many times, you're blessed first of all, you're chosen to be part of these days. No question about it. You could have been somebody else. And that's exactly why Christ could say, hey, many righteous people longed to see the things that you're seeing today. They longed for this. He was trying to tell you these times are unique and you're not who they need you to be. That's why you're here across the river listening to me. Right? This is straightforward in your face. And it wasn't until he walked right up and told them in their face. He was hinting at it, but it wasn't until he walked up right in their face and told them, your father's Satan. Yeah, that alien that came here and did this. That guy, the one that with the guy that created the Matrix. Yeah, that architect, that reptilian, that guy. Because you're following him. And he's not your father. That's not who Christ was telling you about, right? So this is the whole thing. This is the trying to get away from the two swords that spin in both directions from the garden. That's the two of those. And trust me, with this going on, you will see, because I believe that that's actually, if there's going to be a alien invasion, either fake or real, it's going to look a lot like that guy just said. Like an asteroid coming in, and it will strip the sky. Just like that. You will see it open up and people will marvel, and trust me, all of these Christians, all of these people, all of these evangelicals, they will fall down at their knees and worship that one. They will totally buy it. And he can walk up there and be, 900 feet tall and stand above you and, burn you in flames out of his eyes. The difference is he would stand there looking up and go, what, dude? Get out. You want to kill me? Do it. If you can, have at it. But I ain't following you anywhere. Zero, nada, because I'm denying this place. You would like me to stay, but those are the creators of this, and this is what they're doing with all of this. So, hey, I just found this. Let me go back. I did find while we were chatting, the Matrix Unreal Engine. So let's take a look at this really quick. Look pretty real, doesn't it? All 100% generated.
Wow.
Terrifying, actually. See the people walking around? Yeah, this is the future of your Oculus. And then in the chip, you won't even need goggles. Now watch when we get to some other pieces here. I'm going to show you how the light reflects off these cars. Watch this. Oh, hold on. Go back to the cars.
Wow. Look at that.
Crazy. You would think this is absolutely 100% photography. Look at that. Terrifying to me. Now, you could go to New York, right? Why wouldn't you be in here? Why wouldn't you jump in? You see how difficult it's going to be? And you know that Facebook already has, or Metaverse, already has some reports of people being fondled and groped in the Metaverse, right? They have a groping problem already. So if you think like assault and sexual assault and those things isn't going to stick around, it'll be 10,000 times worse. And that is where I just love Malia's mind, because what she says, we were talking, she always says it always perfectly at the time to remind me of what it is. She's like, it's the law. They create more laws. So they will have now rules, more laws, which creates more transgressions, because now you're a transgressor. Kind of like the mask mandates, right? Create all these different types of laws. You can and can't do this. But so now you have tons of people breaking the law. Lawlessness will prevail. It's not just the government being lawless, but it's people. But you weren't breaking the law 2.5 years ago, but you'll be breaking the law doing the same thing you did 2.5 years ago. And now all of a sudden you're a lawbreaker. This is why Christ could say so accurately, that ain't got nothing to do with us. And I just brought on Sandra Bonfire.
Hello, Derek.
Howdy.
How are you?
Good. Well, we'd lost him as soon as.
Where'd you go?
He just popped. He just went down. Now I've got somebody. I can't tell who it is, but it says RM. I'm not sure whether they want to talk or what. So I'm not going to bring them in because I can't really see them. I just see a screen. So let me try to add Sandra Rob Bonfire one more time.
It's okay. It's Sandra Bonfire.
Sandra Bonfire. Okay. Oh, wait. I see who that is. Is that JR?
Yes, this is JR.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, how you doing? What do you think about this, JR? Long time no see. Good to see your face. What do you think about all of this that's going on? Since you've been around, you've been here and been a part of Global Witness off and on. You've been around. You've seen it. You've heard all these conversations. We've had these conversations. What do you think about what's happening? Where's this all going?
Well, first off, I want to start off by saying these things must come to pass, which means that everything you're talking about, everything that we're facing, everything that we're seeing, we're supposed to be seeing. We're seeing them, first off, because we're looking for them. We were told to come here and see the signs that are put before us. So all of this is just something natural that we're having to go through to make us bigger and better within ourselves. The kingdom is within. You can't grow the kingdom outside, but you can use the outside to help you grow the inside. This is what our Father wants us to do. He wants us to grow the kingdom. Don't worry about what's happening out here. That's going to happen. But what do we do with ourselves? We make ourselves brighter light. So when the darkness comes, those who are looking for salvation, for safety, for help, they come to those who are shining the light, giving the energy of the truth. Where are we coming from? We're all seeking the truth. Everyone I see in here, all the people that are in the chat room, we're all seeking the truth. We all don't need to seek what we already have. The Father has given us everything that we can all ask for. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. The Father has put us in a place to where Nothing like this has ever happened before. Nothing. Nobody knows what's fixing to come. We only know what we're feeling happening around us. I want to add this. As in the days of Noah. The days of Noah. What happened in the days of Noah? Well, the sons of God came down and were with the daughters of men. Well, that's happening. That happened when Hitler took over and got information about the Ashkenazi and how to take them out and take over the planet. And the aliens got permission to kidnap women. And they had sex with them. There's reports way back as far as 1940 of women being pregnant and not knowing how. Well, this is all about the hybrids you were talking about. The aliens
like that's a couple thousand years old too.
Right. See, but it comes down to, in the end days, it'll be like in the days of Noah. What happened in chapter 6 in Genesis, we should be looking to happen now, as in the days of Noah. The flood is the flood of information. I also think physically there may be a flood coming. But see, all this must come to pass. We simply must let these things go by, pay attention to them, be aware of them, give our energy to balancing ourselves within them. Because straight is the way, narrow is the gate. We have to be balanced. We can't carry nothing with us. I can't even carry my wife's consciousness with me when I go to my Father. I have to go alone.
Yeah, don't pick a side. Don't pick a side.
Right. Look, if you ask me, I think Donald Trump is the Antichrist, or he's the false prophet. And I think that if it's true, John is going to be the Antichrist. Why? He was dead, but now he's alive. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just throwing my information out there because we don't know what's right and what's wrong. Somebody said something the other day. I was listening to him, and he says, "How do you know you have the truth?" Don't we all? Derek, don't you have the truth? John, don't you have your truth?
Yeah,
all of us have our truths.
It's written within you.
Right. But none of us can actually say to each other, "You're wrong." Because Derek, you learned your truth. You got your truth straight from the heart. And that's where the truth comes from, is the heart.
Absolutely. So I just brought on Blossom Schwan, who was on the other night. She had some great comments. People really enjoyed hearing from her. So I'm going to say hello again. Blossom, what do you think?
Hello,
Hey, Blossom.
how are you? Hi,
Hello.
guys. How you doing?
Hi, Blossom.
I love all you guys. Thank you so much for having me on again. I know I said last time, I said I won't bother you again, but I guess that was a lie.
Hey, really,
No
Listen,
bother.
really
I
quick.
heard something.
Can I announce something so I don't forget to tell everybody? Just right now, just got another notification that breaking report that New York legislation is set to vote on January 5th, 2022. So right after the beginning of the new year. And it will provide indefinite detention of unvaccinated at the governor's discretion in the state of New York. So just so you know, that's all happening right now as we speak. So get ready.
Oh my gosh. I'm in New York. I'm in New York. So I'm like,
Bless your heart.
I'm in an RV right now and I got blessed. I'm like, my story is like really, it's really crazy how I ended up in an RV and with my son, because I knew all this was going to go down. Like back in 2007, I was having dreams of tsunamis and all kinds of crazy things that everybody was saying I was crazy. And it's like all coming into effect now. And it's like, I'm not so crazy anymore. It's so great to see some, to see that people are understanding that I actually had truth that I was sharing.
I was
on. But what I came on to say was, I don't know, Derek, if you've seen on TikTok, quite a few people are posting that DC is empty. Washington, D.C., where there are people doing business like crazy every day, has been empty for the last month. Also, another point that was brought to that Trump's picture is the last president on the wall in the White House where you can go and visit. Trump's picture is the only one that's left, and it says 2017 dash, and there's no date. Biden is not on there, and people are wondering why.
Well, yeah, that's been off and on for quite some time, and obviously that startled a lot of people when they saw Biden giving press conferences, some from some staged room, and the presidential seal not being on his podium. This is the thing. So you have to understand, these are all the wars and rumors of wars and things like that get people caught into things as well, because we could go down the rabbit hole of that, and I'm sure that something weird is going on in DC. I guarantee it is. It's definitely not normal operating procedure.
They're
right?
hiding. They're hiding, right?
Well, things are. Well, but see, this is where I don't want to. I don't like saying they're hiding or that, because that's Q stuff and all of that. It's like, I don't know why they're doing that. However, I do know it's happening. That things are happening. It doesn't matter why, right? All you have to know is that it's falling in line with everything else. Don't go down the rat hole of QAnon things, because the QAnon stuff is dangerous in the way that it allows, just like we were talking about earlier, John, that when Anonymous, the Occupy Wall Street, it gets usurped by them. Okay, they will take it and they will lead you, and you'll feel, oh, I'm getting more righteous. I'm doing more of this. I'm going to save some babies. I'm going to save some kids from being trafficked. All of these things must come to pass. Let the evil do evil. Let the righteous be righteous. Right? You cannot change anything that is coming upon us. That's
there you go.
Right. Dude, no,
exactly.
I'm just saying that I'm wondering if they think something's big is coming and they're prepared for it.
I don't know, but I don't mean to interrupt. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I've got the screens. I can't hear or see who's on, who's talking.
Okay, well, that's the bottom left of the screen is Blossom Schwan, and she's the one talking.
No, there's a buffer on one. It's just you and John, and then there's a buffer on the rest of them with the black screen, and I can't hear.
That was
them.
happening to me too.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not on.
You got to
us.
reset it.
It's not on the broadcast. What I'd do is I would just drop off. I'll remove you, Damien, and then jump out and then come back in. And then when you come back,
I just wanted to add to the DC thing. They've been ordering evacuations in DC since the 30,000 National Guard troops was occupying the Capitol then, and they put the razor wire up. So, I mean, I wouldn't read into that too much. This is,
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, this has been something that's been ongoing. And that vote that you're talking about, Derek, too, they had Assembly Bill A416, which related to the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases in New York City. So, I mean, they've been telegraphing these kind of things for quite a while, as you know. Basically, setting us up for this final phase. When we look at, Omicron, it actually means Omega, right? Omega. It's the lowercase version. When we look at the etymology of the word for Omega, which means, the end. It's the final phase of all of this. So that's why I think we're all being gradually brought into this. And we know we've already got the 20 zones and the 100 centers for this as well. And then it's called shielding approach through the CDC. This is how they're going to introduce it into everybody. That's why Biden did the announcement in which in South Carolina, he called Kamala Harris the president. That's another weird thing. But that he did the announcement that they're going to now go on things based on the severity of cases, because they're going to shift their footing. They telegraph everything before they do it. That's why, people like myself and Derek have been able to kind of, ring the alarm for years now and say, hey, it's not like we're predicting the future here. I mean, they're telling us, and there's nothing new under the sun. Bible, scripture, it all plays itself out over and over again.
Can I say another thing that I wanted to jump in and say real quick, and then I'll probably jump off here. But the other thing I wanted to tell you, Derek, was I was having trouble with my computer a couple weeks ago, and I ordered a new hard drive. I put it in, and I had to re-download Windows. And with the new Windows, I wish I could screen share this to you. I have.
We're losing you.
I couldn't move certain files.
We're losing you. We're losing you. While until you come back here, I'm going to just mute you there for just a minute because it's coming in and out. I think we've lost you completely. I was pointing out here on my Twitter channel. This, right? Now people say, oh, this is terribly offensive to compare that star with what they're doing right now. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what that legislation is all about. And that is exactly what happened then. This isn't even a stretch, not even remotely a stretch to say that this isn't legitimate. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. It wasn't, and I'm not even going to bring up the names. It wasn't the guy conducting the operation to take these people. He wasn't saying, oh, it's because they're this religion or this bloodline. He was saying they're diseased. They're spreading disease because of the way that they live. They have diseases. Same thing. They're diseased and appealing to fear. So, boy, oh boy. Now, it's crazy. So, the funny thing is I actually was going to make a very large political statement. It shows up here. But do you know that I tried to replace my Twitter profile picture with this? And it won't let me. It won't let me. I can put anything else there, but it won't let me put that. So they've already got that algorithm. They already recognize that. I thought that was crazy. Malia says, Mommy 420 prayer, sister. There are never any words to console. So I guess we've had some folks that we want to. Oh, we're so sorry. Condolences to you. So prayers reaching out to Mommy 420. So she had I believe her husband died. Friday. Yeah, every single day we get somebody, one of the followers somewhere. And you know what? I want to give a shout out. Anybody that remembers Gordon McWhorter. So Gordon is out of the hospital and back at work. He was burned really badly over a significant portion of his body. And Malia and I were able to go out and see him while he was at the burn center in Las Vegas. And we were able to, put our hands on him and just let him know that we loved him and that there were other people out there that were pushing for him. And he's made an incredible recovery. And so I hope that Gordon will be able to come on here and talk to y'all. He's got a great testimony. He's really got something to say now, but he's been through a lot. So I'll put up the link again. I guess some folks are trying to get back on the show and couldn't find the link in chat. I just put that back up, and I'm going to post it on Twitter, even though I don't think that we're probably going to be on much longer, but I'm just going to post it to Twitter. Something went wrong. It says, no, won't do that. Okay. Well, you saw that. So it didn't like that link. So let me go back to Blossom. You're back on now. Hopefully we can hear you. So you were saying that something weird happened to your computer.
Yes. And I couldn't access any of my files. I couldn't control anything. I couldn't delete anything. I couldn't do anything. So I ended up looking up, troubleshooting on the web like you would normally do. And I ended up finding out that the new downloads, all the updated versions of Windows and anybody who downloads Windows, they have put a backdoor access in Microsoft Windows files. And I screenshotted it and everything. I wish I could share my screen with you and show you. And it basically has taken over anybody who's recently downloaded new Windows, not even 11, 10, and all the updates. They put this back door, and it's deep in Windows. It takes you a while to get to it, and it literally takes whole control of your computer. You can't delete files. You can't do nothing. I have the information. I can send it to you if you'd like.
Sure. Just send it to email at theglobalwitness@protonmail.com. Theglobalwitness@protonmail. And there are many exploits for Windows. I mean, look, I was an executive at Windows and ran Windows strategy and then global wireless strategy and business development there. Very, very deep into into Microsoft. And I know that operating system. I also know Linux and know those. And there's always going to be vulnerabilities in Microsoft because there's too many disconnected groups, and it's always a patch problem, which is exactly why, you know, we say talking about taking the, you know, the VEX thing. It's like, it's an operating system. And of course, if Bill Gates is involved, you damn well believe that there's going to be a update program. That's, I mean, the guy hasn't been able to fix anything. And he wasn't even that smart that when he first started, what actually got me the job there, because I kind of blasted them before Congress saying how ridiculous it was and how stupid the marketing people in the company were for calling it patches. I was like, you can't say, it's like ordering a patch for a car or something. You can't say Band-Aid any greater than that. It's like, and we're going to, this is a real screw up, so we're going to give you a patch. I was like, no.
It's just for keeping updated on your information.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So we've got somebody's audio working in the background, I think.
Yeah, headphones.
Yeah, I muted. That's why you got to always use headphones. So I'm muting your mic, Thomas Lynch, because it's yours. So I've got you. And if you got something to say, just wave and I'll unmute your mic. You got something to say?
Hey,
okay.
you know, my computer was just recently attacked too, though. I had to get a whole new entire system just 2 weeks ago.
This is the third time it's happened to me. They shut down because I save all kinds of pictures and all kinds of information. And every single time I do, I'm telling you, my hard drive goes, my everything fries. Brand new stuff.
Mine too.
Well, here's what I would say. Make sure that anytime, if you even put a firewall, just look it up. Just go the best firewall for Windows, and I'm sure you're going to find that, and it allows you to control the ports that are utilized in and out of your machine. All right,
like
so no, a VPN is not going to help you from real nefarious activity. Okay, so that's not going to help you if you really. And this isn't a computer show and not tech support or anything like that, but. I'm just going to say that if you have a VPN, what you really want to be able to do, and you can shut off the ports if you just look up how to work through PowerShell. So how do I shut down ports in PowerShell? So you can shut down ports. And let me just show you kind of a little thing here. So here, I'll share my screen. 1 second. I'm going to have to share. This will probably be helpful for you guys. So go back to this, and I'm going to share. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a command string. Okay, I'm going to bring it over to this window right here. So if you ever want to find out, if you're on a PC and you want to find out who's on your machine, right? Who's connected? What connects to your machine? Just go to command. Just type in down on the bottom left of Windows. Type in CMD. That's short for command. And then once it opens up, just put netstat, NETSTAT. And you're going to get a whole list of IP addresses, hold on, that are connected. And it's still going to, it'll keep going. It'll keep going. It's going to continuously route. So you can copy these IP addresses. It's a little hard, but if you really want to protect yourself, I'm just telling you, this is how you do it. You copy these IP addresses down. And then you do a reverse lookup on them. And you find out what company those go to and what organization. Sometimes it'll be a government organization. Many times it'll be Microsoft or Adobe or this plugin or that chat thing that you have or that update or that plugin. But you'll be able to see how many connections it has and how it operates. So see, it's going to continue to go. And you can see GW Streamer. You see all of these? All of those are connections to this PC for me streaming. So I can actually verify who is connected. Got it? So just type in netstat and you'll be able to find those IP addresses, who they are. And then what you do is in the VPN, you can close these ports that they utilize.
Okay.
If you want to block somebody, even if you've uninstalled their program, block the port. Only thing you need, like you relegate your PC down to exactly what you need.
Gotcha.
Right? Just exactly what you need and nothing more. And so, particularly if you're going to be working on there, that your phone's quite different. Your PC is far more vulnerable. So I would suggest that.
Thank you.
Right, so that's it today for the Microsoft lesson on how to have your PC not hacked.
Now, would that help with this new vulnerability at all?
Yes, well, it actually would, but you would have to know that they're coming after you, that they're utilizing that, that they're utilizing that exploit, and then you would have to know which port they're using to utilize it or to exploit that exploit. So let me jump out of this. We have I am Monica 57 that just came on. We would love to hear from you, Monica. What say Monica today?
Hey guys, hello Derek, Malia, and everyone.
Hey, Monica.
Hi. Can you guys hear me okay? Because
We hear you perfectly. Wonderful.
Awesome,
Yes.
Great. Yep. Great. Anyway, Derek, you know, I have followed you for a while. I've been sort of like on this little spiritual journey that sort of started 5 years ago, where I heard this voice that I think was Jesus, Yeshua. Actually, I'm sure now of that voice now. And but my journey started with me trying to figure out the name of Yahweh, Jehovah, and it started me searching, and it brought me to those Sumerian texts.
Yeah.
And my journey has been through all kind of twists and turns, where I thought I was born again, to a Black Hebrew Israelite, to all kinds of different things in between. And it keeps bringing me back to the same spot again, that something happened in that, when that book of in the Genesis book, the book of the first chapter of the Bible, I decided I wanted to go back to the Bible and really read it and ponder and understand it. But I couldn't get past that first chapter and the second chapter. I went, whoop, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Something is wrong here.
Well, I almost got killed the very first time I said the serpent in the garden is
Yes.
your creator. Oh man, I'll tell you, I thought the whole world burned down.
Yes. And it's just, it seems like the more I dig, and every rabbit hole I go in, the Christians are like, don't go in the rabbit hole. The devil is down there. Oh, don't go down there. But I just had this journey to keep digging, keep searching until it made sense to me, until it resonated with me. And where you guys are, where we are now, it is resonating big time.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. We all do. You know, everybody here, I'm sure you do. It's like all of these things it's going to be so comforting. I mean, it's already comforting now to know that you're here, right? It's comforting for me to know that there are other people that understand and get this and are living it and know it. It doesn't mean we have to have the same opinions. It doesn't mean we have to see it exactly the same way. Again, you know, all that thing, you've seen it from this angle, that angle, until you understand all angles. That's why I can have a conversation with somebody and they can explain something that's completely contrary to the way I see it. And I go, I can grip that. I see how you could possibly see it. That's totally a different angle that could come from there. And that's where dogma has no place. You know, dogma has no place in spirituality and understanding where you come from. It has about as much place as somebody like Fauci has to say that he is science, and that there is in science, that there is a settled anything in science. Science, the whole purpose of science is asking questions and never settling on anything.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to find out that what you thought was true before isn't. Like the speed of light. Oh, the speed of light's the fastest thing there is. Yeah, until they had CERN and they were like, yeah, guess what? No. The speed of light is the speed of light within the matrix. The speed of light is the speed of light, just like I showed you. The speed of light is that Gen X of 5X for matrix. That 3D world, all the light and the way that the light works within that world that I just showed you guys earlier. That right there, no different. It's a light. It's a controlled light system. So faster than the speed of light means spirituality, that you get connected to way faster than light travels. You automatically know that, and the amount of information that you receive, just boom, completely explodes inside you. Completely explodes. And you have to be prepared to be proven wrong in something that you thought that you proved to be true, but not proven wrong totally, but just proven that that's not the only way to see it.
Corrected.
Yeah. So you're trying to build the model so you can see it from all angles and go, What is that? You know, what angle is that? What does it look like on the other side of that? What does it look like from that perspective? It's difficult. So I've got, I'm going to add Mark Manning, who's come on board here. I'm not quite sure who's, we've got somebody's mic. I'm going to mute some mics here and see if it's, I think it might've been Robbins. Hold on one second. Just trying to mute some mics. All right. No, I think that was a little bit of clicking from I am Monica 57, but it's only, it's, I don't know. I think it's just a fan. It's nothing wrong. Nothing that you're doing wrong. But I'm going to also bring Mark Manning on. I wanted to thank you so much for, I love hearing from you, Monica, because your searching is precisely what I try to tell people what to do. It's like, look, when you come up against that wall, just don't get frustrated when you are proving yourself wrong. Don't do that. Keep that. Put it on the shelf and go, oh, I remember that that's how I thought about it. And then it also going to come like this today, hearing from the CIA agent and confirming everything that I've ever learned about Enki, Enlil, all this stuff and everything that we've ever said that I was attacked for. And now this guy confirms it. So it's you can never, and people told me I was, you know, a heretic and the Antichrist and all of that. So it's just how it is. Mark Manning just joined. Mark, what say you, Mark? Can we hear you?
Hey, brothers and sisters, I'm having a difficulty. I have like 3 voices going on at one time. Trying to work on it right now.
All righty. Well, you can just sit there and hang in there with us. And if anybody has anything to say before we close off today, I can always, let me tell you something. I know I can always call on JR, and JR's got something to add to the equation. So JR, what say you before we close?
Well, first off, to Monica, I want to say it's really a pleasure to see you on this journey, trying to find out that you are right where you're supposed to be. And that's what I wanted to say. We are all right where we're supposed to be. We're perfect in the design that was created for us to follow. Every one of us has specific talents, and every one of us are supposed to lead these people that are in the dark, that are clueless to what's going on around them. And there are many of the mankind. Oops, what happened?
No, we got you.
But there are many of mankind running around. They have no idea that they're even supposed to be sons of man. And I would bring that, let me bring this information in, as the Father showed me this. Jesus called himself the Son of Man. The Son of Man is that you give out your energy for mankind, for man. Then you have humanity. They're all concerned about their complexion. And then you have mankind, and these are the ones that are asleep, completely asleep. These are the ones that are AI, artificially intelligent. They are not awake.
They're kind of like man. Mankind is kind of like
right.
man.
Right. So when we recognize what we're dealing with here, we're dealing with robotic people. We're dealing with people who are more concerned about everything else that's going on in the world. They're not concerned about the self. Your temple, if I would say anything, I will conclude with this. Your temple is the most important part of you. You can't bring 100% of yourself to me until you get 100% of yourself awake. Study. Go within yourself and ask questions and shut up and listen, and the Father will speak. The ascension is about you rising up in yourself. So ascend, masters, all of you, everyone listening, and all of your faces that I see in front of me are masters. Claim it and then go for it. Let the outside world be information for the inside. Thank you, Derek. I love you very much. I love you too, Malia.
She's here. I think she's deep in trying to sort through chat, and she's gonna if we have any questions or anything that anybody is putting there that we haven't covered that we're supposed to. We still have 1,108 concurrent viewers. That's pretty good, guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I just want to thank you, Derek, for having me on tonight, brother, and just everything that you've done. And dude, you put in so much work for so long, and you've been incredibly influential, not only for me, but for everybody that's watching and so many more.
Oh, brother, I appreciate that. I love, I love hearing, not that I've helped somebody or done something, but it's to me, John, when I watch your show, I go, fruit, right? That's fruit. And I take that, Malia and I are always talking about there, like, that's so beautiful. And somebody, calls her or calls us and just says, wow, I can't even tell you how much it's changed for me. And then they tell it back to us like Damien was the other day. It's just remarkable to me. So to me, thank you, John, for being fruit. Doesn't mean you're my fruit exclusively, but there's some fruit of mine there. And I appreciate that. JR, Blossom as well, Monica, Mark Manning, Robin's Hood. Robin's come about and been fruit in the craziest of ways, right? So this is the whole point, guys. We got to react differently, right? It's about how you react to these things that's going to make the difference. It's not going to be how you think about it, because that's not going to be noted. It's going to be how you react to it.
Your intention.
What's the intention of the heart? That's the thing. Malia has always talked about the intention of the heart being, what is that? What's your heart trying to accomplish? And, and that's the whole thing. So John, when early on, when you and I connect, and so you got to discover over the years what the intention of my heart was, right?
Absolutely, man.
It wasn't easy to determine, though, right? So there was bumps and bruises and good things and bad things, and people fall away and come back and hate. And it's
something that when you're bringing information like you are, and it's hard for a person because of the dogma and the indoctrination. We got to fight against ourselves in so many different ways. And the easiest thing for you to do is to demonize the person that's presenting it to you, right? They're putting the truth in your face. The easiest thing, the best way to reject it is by saying, I'll find something wrong with you so I can find something wrong with the things you're telling me. You know what I mean? And yeah, you're right. I have got to see the fruit of the person you are. And people don't know because you don't sit and brag about the stuff. But that's why I always say, whenever I mention you on my channel, I'm like, I love Derek, man. Because of the things he's shown me privately. He's just been a good friend to me. He's done a lot for me and mentored me a lot. Just people don't know that you're
left hand and don't let the right hand know what it's doing, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And John, and that's the whole point, is that all I ever want to see from you is where you're supposed to be standing, and I don't want to ever see you fall off from that. And that doesn't mean that if you're going to change one time and something, you're going to go, you know what? Hey, I'm out. I'll be like, cool, because
how dare you?
Every single morning I wake up and I go, you know what? Am I going to still be doing this, or are you changing where I'm going, what I'm doing? Yeah. And it keeps coming up. You still got more to say. I still need to tell some certain things, and Malia does too. And they were asking, get Malia on here. Need to hear her thoughts on this.
Yes.
I was walking the dogs, you guys.
She was walking the dogs.
Malia.
Oh, hey, you guys. Hey, first of all, Derek,
I think I got this fixed.
Oh, good. Were you the one popping with the microphone? That's okay. We do it all the time. Hey, I wanted to give a quick shout out to so many people have emailed us, because we are doing these one-on-one phone calls. I know some of you have been part of that. Damien, we talked to Damien a good bit, but we are catching up on those. So I'm going to give a shout out to a couple of names. Mark, you were on my list to call out to, because you've sent us several emails recently, and I don't know that I've responded to all of them. And I really, really try to do that. Christine Keller, Karen Miller, Terry Land, who is a new subscriber, Frida, Melissa, Ann, Deborah, Dana, and Jack. Kanya, Susan Milden, Justin, he's emailed us a couple of times today. Nancy Smith, she's making us gifts. You have no idea how much these emails bless us. Keep sending them. If we don't respond, we try to. And we just wanted to tell you guys that we really have appreciated all of your prayers and your support. And we absolutely, it brings tears to our eyes to hear you tell us, repeat back to us in your own words, where you are speaking back to us in spirit and power, and your words are full of life because you are now walking in that path. And that is what it is. That's making disciples. That is the commission. I don't create a convert. I'm making a disciple, right? That's all of us. So love you guys very much.
Love you, Malia.
Isn't she awesome?
Yeah, she is.
And that's the whole point. So making disciples doesn't mean, oh, you know, you're my disciple, or John, you have people that, oh, you're my disciple. No, but you've guided these people to being one under, what does disciple mean? It means one under discipline.
Exactly.
You're disciplining yourself now. The government will rest on whose shoulders? On his shoulders, your shoulders. Govern yourself. Govern yourself, man. That's where it is. That is what Christ is. And when you can do that, when you can govern yourself and you're like, I don't need those people, they're going to think you're crazy, especially as they keep playing.
Derek, I asked you a question one time way back in the day. I asked you a question if the Zodiac had anything to do with the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, let me throw this at you. The 12 tribes of Israel are the Zodiac. The 12 disciplines, the 12 disciples, each one of the Zodiac has a specific discipline, such as an Aries is all about esteem. Well, who would that be? Look for the disciple in the Bible who self-esteem. The stars indicate, somebody asked in the chat earlier, are we star seeds? Dory asked if we were star seeds. We're all star seeds. We all come from the stars. We all have stardust in us. Okay, I mean, they were singing about stardust way back when I was a kid. So the point is that when we raise our elevation here, come on, pick up your mentality, grow within your heart. That's the kingdom. You're going from the 3D, the lower three parts of your body, to your heart. Now you're struggling within yourself because you're fighting. You're trying to figure out who you are, where you belong, and then you go within the center part of your nobody. Where you nobody, that's in the center of your heart. That's where you become everything. Point is this.
And this isn't.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just so people can see, this isn't a heart. That's a DNA strand. So that's not what you need to be concerned with. The heart is the mind. The heart is the mind, and the heart has a mind. It's actually constructed like a mind.
And that's why Christ was crucified in the place of the skull.
Yep.
Well, if you go to the DNA, well, Magenta Pixie put out something that I think everybody should recognize. Each one of you have 12 strands of DNA and 12 nodes on those DNA. You have 2 strands right now that are active. That's the 2 tribes that are on this planet. The 12 tribes of Israel are gone. Okay, that's the 12 DNA strands that are silent within you. Derek, through his voice, through his understanding, through his heart, by God coming through him, he activated a DNA strand within me. We're climbing Jacob's ladder now. I now raised up within myself because Derek, because John, because Malia, because Deanna, because Dory, all these people spoke their truths to me, and they crossed one of the ladder bars in my DNA. And soon we will all ascend to the perfection of our completeness, which is our 144 DNA strands lit up. And that's what we're doing here. We're seeking for ourselves, our completeness, our infinity, each one of us, to have these 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 disciplines. Each one of us has the key to the kingdom. It's your birth date and time and where you were born at. It tells all about who you are. You want to become disciplined in who you are. Look at yourself in your zodiac sign and look at what it tells you to be disciplined in. Then put yourself into that, and then you're at your greatest potential. Sorry, I'm rambling, but the whole thing comes down to this.
Preacher.
It comes down to this. It comes down to this. When you recognize that everyone around you, Israel as far as when you speak of a nation. This nation only got itself like 100 years ago. Okay, it's been around in the Bible forever, but it only got a nation 100 years ago. It's been walking around and looking for the land of milk and honey. The land of milk and honey is within your mind. The pineal gland, the thalamus gland, all of these are things within you. When you go the straight and narrow, the thalamus or your pineal opens up, drops the fluid down your spinal cord. When your chakras are in balance, it sends it straight up your backbone. When it reaches the thalamus gland, it opens up. Next thing you know, you're in the land of milk and honey. Yep. This is everything that the Bible talks about. Is the Bible is the information within you, and when you all understand. I'm sorry.
No,
you open up the DNA. You open up the DNA within me. I open up the DNA with. These are the shepherds. We're the shepherds for the flock. You're going to speak something to somebody. Derek, I know you've done it. I've watched you. I've seen the people react to your words in such a way that something happened within them. And that something happened within them was the DNA crossed, and all of a sudden they become more of themselves.
Hey, can I tell you a story, JR? And I'm not kidding you.
Go ahead.
There was a guy. I was doing a construction project when I first got out here to Arizona. And there was this guy that was hired by the person that was running the construction site, and he was a really smart guy and was married and had 2 kids and everything. And so we're out on the porch. He goes, "Hey, do you mind if I take a smoke break?" I was like, "No, I'll come out on the porch." Beautiful location. We're over top of this thing, and I started speaking to him, and I'm not kidding you. This guy jumped up when I said something to him, and he jumped up and jumped back, and the look on his face, he goes, "Dude, who are you? Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Derek." And he goes, "No, motherfucker, who are you?" Just like that. And I went, "I'm Derek." And he goes, "Dude, what you just did to me right now, dude, I felt like I could have jumped." And we're way up on this mountain. He's like, I thought I was going to just fly off the whole top of the mountain here. He goes, "Who are you?" And I'm telling you, and see, and this is why I say it's dangerous. It's dangerous. That's where it says, do not take the Lord's name in vain. That's for yourself, right? You don't stand in that position and go, "Oh yeah, that's me. I'm that guy." No, but this is the arrogance of it. So we just had Harry B come on, and I think
Derek, I gotta drop out. Is that okay? I want to just
go
thank
ahead
you.
and jump off, John. They asked us to go a little bit longer. I was just going to let somebody in, and since Harry B just showed up, I thought I'd let Harry say a piece on. Thanks, John. We love you so much.
Countless blessings,
love all of you
John.
guys.
Go to the best
Here, John.
channel.
Yes,
Go to
brother.
All my love, brother.
Bye, John.
All righty, so I'm going to bring JR back on, but let's hear from. Can we hear from Harry B really quick? Harry.
Can you hear me, everybody?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad to be here. It's great to Monica. Glad to see you, Basto. And guys, Monica, no. I want to thank you first, Derek, for the apocalypse of Adam. First off, that connected so many dots and all the things that I've been looking through for ages. The moment you brought that up, and I was like, wow, we were created greater than our creators. That just flipped the script on everything. It really did.
Yeah,
and
that's why they're jealous.
Yeah, you think?
That's why they're going to try to tell you that we're part alien to deceive you.
Yeah, you think?
They'll say, "But you're my kid," and I was like, "I ain't yours."
That's right.
Okay. There's one reason I came on here, and I forgot who it was. I was listening at the time. I've been around the house and had the headphones in for a lot of the night. Somebody brought up 3 Days of Darkness, and I'm hearing my echo for some reason.
No, I got rid of that.
Oh, okay. All right, good. So somebody brought up 3 Days of Darkness, and I posted a link that I probably put into Derek's Discord ages ago, which I don't even know if it exists anymore, because every Discord I put this link into, it disappears at some point. And it's about 3 Days of Darkness that actually happened It happened.
Yes.
And Derek, you
Peter.
brought this up in the past, this specific region. And there's a reason why when you look back at Wesley Clark, the West Clark 7, when he talked about all the places that we were going to go into after 9/11. And the one place we didn't go into that they're dying to get into is
Where would that
Syria.
be?
It's
Yeah.
Syria. It's Syria. And this happened in, wait, what was the thing that we all got the big scare about was 2012? The end of the world?
2012, the world was going to end. And it kind of did.
Well, who knows? Because guess what happened 200 years before that? 3 days of darkness in Damascus, Syria. I found this in the newspaper like 3-4 years ago. I've been subscribed to everybody for a long time. I don't generally go into chats or into the comments because I've been in technology since the 90s. Derek knows that I know the whole situation of every single thing that we put in is sifted through so in such detail, such granularity. It makes your head spin. And
did you ever see the movie The Seventh Sign, Harry?
What's that?
Did you ever see a movie called The Seventh Sign?
I have not, and I will be soon.
With Demi Moore. Demi Moore's in it, and Mike Beach. Mike Beach is you'll recognize his face right away. Plays her husband.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, it's as you're mentioning these things, the things happening. So what you said, there were 3 days of darkness before. Well, there were these different signs where this scientist was flown out to the middle of the desert to this town, this entire community that was a desert community in like the middle of, in the middle of Africa somewhere in the Sudan. And it's completely covered in ice, but it's 150 degrees, so
wow.
Just watch that movie, and you can tell me what you think of that. Well, we've gone, folks, although, they wanted to go another 2 hours, but we haven't even eaten yet. So we need to,
how dare you?
How dare us?
Before you run, Derek.
Yeah.
I put a link into the private chat in the StreamYards. Take that link, read that article. If you want to go through it now, you can. We could do it at another time. I'm happy to come back and have a third discussion on all this stuff.
Yeah.
When you read this, you're gonna go, wait a second, I need to get a hold of this guy. If you found this stuff, it's not even just 3 days of darkness. There's more in that article that's beyond that. And when you read it, you go,
that sounds fun.
Yeah. Something else.
Yeah. So we're getting I gotta mute you again, Thomas. We're getting an echo from you, and I'm not quite sure. The globalwitness.org, Soul's Eye Jewels put up there. Also, as we close out, guys, and as we close this out, I can tell you what I'm gonna do here. Let me find this. This is what we're gonna close out, and I'd just like you guys to listen to the lyrics and enjoy the outro music. Hold on, find it. Let me do this. No, it's here. There it is. Okay. So we're going to just jam out to this song. I just want to tell everybody that we love you and we're thankful. I want to thank Robin, Blossom. I am Monica. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Derek.
Harry, definitely again. Thomas Lynch, thank you so much. Love you. Yes, and know, folks, that Thomas Lynch is not giving the sign of Satan in that. And JR,
that's an I love you forever.
And Mark, love you forever. We love you guys very much.
Echo difficulty.
Thanks for letting me hang out with you, Derek.
Yeah, of course. I loved it. So we're gonna jam this a little bit here as we go on out. This is a song called Warfare by Matt Parker. So I'm a dubstep kind of guy, and so Malia and I were just talking about, you know what we need to do? We need to hold a dance because I loved it. Right, I dance, I play, I sing, I do music. I love all that. And going to be recording some music, maybe we'll see. But so dancing, I just love. And I was like, you know what we need to do? Just show everybody that we don't care that the world's ending. We're like it. So let's go dance to it. So this is a song called Warfare, but it has a really strong message. So check this out.
bleed, we die. If you ask us why, we got something worth dying for. Whoa, yeah. The dark is paralyzing, but the light inside is blinding, and we'll shine till the day we fly. The enemy's advancing, but we will keep on dancing, cause in the power of God we dare to do the impossible. We fight, we love, we take the world by storm, because our captain is the great almighty Lord. And we will give it all for him. The day is coming fast, and this life is almost past. We gotta stay strong till the day that we get there. Oh, our hero takes the lead. We're running at full speed. This is really, truly warfare. Warfare. Warfare.